Here it go. And it came to be in the 13th year, in the fourth month, on the fifth new moon, I was among the exiles by the river of Kibar. The heavens was open, and I saw the vision of Elohim. On the fifth of the new moon, in the fifth year of sovereign Jehoiakim, Jehoiakim's exile, the word of Yahweh came expressly to Yehezekiel, the priest, the son of Uzi, in the land of Casdim by the river Kibar, and the hands of Yahweh came upon him there. And I looked and saw a whirlwind coming out of the north, a great cloud with a fire flashing itself, and the brightness was all around us. And out of its midst, like a glowing metal, out of the midst of the fire, and out of the midst it came what looked like four living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man, and each one had four faces, and each one had four wings, and their feet were straight feet, and the soles of their feet was like the soles of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the appearance of polished bronze. And under their wings, on their four sides, were the hands of a man. And each of the four had faces and wings. Their wings touched one another. They did not turn where they went. Each one went straight forward.
And the likeness of their faces, the face of a man, and each of the four had the face of a lion on the right side, and each of the four had the face of an ox on the left side, and each of the four had the face of an eagle. Such were their faces. Their wings were spread upward, two of each touched one another, and two covered their bodies. Each one went straight forward, going wherever the spirit was to go. They did not turn when they went. On the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coals of fire, and like the appearance of torches moving back and forth among the living creatures. And the fire was bright, and out of the fire went lightning, and the living creatures ran back and forth, like the appearance of a flash of lightning. And I looked at the living creatures and saw a wheel on the earth beside each living creature with its four faces. The appearance of the wheels and their works was like the appearance of a barrel. All had all four had the same form. The appearance of their works was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. And when they went in any of the four directions. They did not turn aside when they went, and their rims were high and awesome, and their rims were covered with eyes all around the four of them.
And when the living creatures went, the wheels went beside them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Wherever the spirit was to go, they went, because there the spirit went, and the wheels were lifted together with them. For the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. When those went, these went. When those stood, these stood. And when those were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up together with them. For the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels, and the likeness was over the heads of the living creatures, an expanse like the appearance of an awesome crystal, stretched out over their heads. And under the expanse their wings were straight, one toward another. Each one had two which covered one side, and each one had two which covered the other side of the body. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of many waters, like the voice of the Almighty, a tumult like the noise of an army. And when they stood still, they let down their wings. And a voice came from above the expanse that was over their heads. When they stood, they dropped their wings. And above the expanse over their heads was like the likeness of a throne, in appearance like a sapphire stone. And on the likeness of the throne was a likeness as the appearance of a man high above it. And from the appearance of his waist and upward, I saw what looked like glowing metal, with the appearance of fire all around within it. And from the appearance of his waist and downward, I saw what looked like fire and brightness all around, as the appearance of a rainbow in a cloud on a rainy day, so was the appearance of brightness all around it. This was the appearance of the likeness of the esteem of Yahweh. And when I saw it, I fell on my face, and I heard a voice of one speaking.
Every time I read this, gentlemen, almost like it's a it's like coming from outer space or like a spaceship or like a spacecraft. No matter how it gives me chills every time. Like the four living
So
creatures.
it's like
Got you?
describing. Sounds like it's describing like a biblically accurate angel can speak.
Well, it's okay. So just to give you some clarity, right? I wish I could share the picture with you. What some people think of like it's these four living creatures. The wings touch each other, right? But then on they're underneath crystal, like a rainbow crystal, like sheet. Like he's sitting over top of them, but they're like it's like a big machine, like a wheel within a wheel. That's the Ezekiel wheel. You get a chance, look that up, right? Ezekiel's wheel, because it's like I think the what's that movie? Do it at towards the end, Doctor Manhattan. But the long and short, it's almost like a spacecraft. Because remember, he said going back, he said in Ezekiel, Ezekiel, the first chapter, verse 4, right? It said, and I looked and saw a whirlwind coming out of the north, a great cloud with fire flashing itself, and brightness was all around it, and out of its midst like a glowing metal, and out of the midst of fire, and going on to 5, and out of the midst of it came what looked like four living creatures, and this was their appearance. It had the likeness of a man. So like it's like you know how like sometimes a spaceship when they show you the spaceship landing, it has all the clouds. Like to us it's cloud, but it's kind of like the fumes or whatever the case. Every
Yeah.
time I see it, I get that vision in my head. Like it's like in the spiritual realm, but he could see this. He can see the throne room. He can see the. He could see Elohim leaving because this is mind you, this is after they everything's getting crushed, right? They're captured, right? And this is them going up to Babylon, right? Like on that river, exiles by the river, because this is I was amongst the exiles by the river, like so we're getting shipped to. And as I look up, I see this vision from the north. Wow, he's moving out of there. People, that makes sense.
Mm.
Big.
I feel like they're describing like a most high moment. How they saw Yah or like the likeness of Yahweh.
And it's so dope. Like he can see clearly. He can identify when it comes to Yahweh or Yahuwah. Comes to that, he just says like fire, right? Like it's just so brilliant. It's so bright. You can't even make out what it is. Like, and it makes sense because like remember when Moshe went up there, it was like radiation. He was whole face, his whole skin turned pale. He had to walk around with a veil after a while.
Mm.
See, because like it goes down to Ezekiel, Ezekiel 1. I mean, the first chapter, verse 26, and it says, "And above the expanse over their heads was a likeness of a throne, in appearance like a sapphire stone." So sapphire, if you know that color, you can see what it is. And on the likeness of the throne was a likeness of the appearance of a man high above it. From the appearance of his waist and upward, I saw what looked like glowing metal, and the appearance of fire all around within it. And from the appearance of his waist downward, I saw it look like fire and brightness all around, as in the appearance of a like. It's just so brilliant. It's like, hey, that's like what? That's and this is the closest we have to the likeness of the Most High. This is the closest. Outside of Moshe walking around and looking at, this is the closest. Anything else you want to add back?
No.
Oh, on to the next. So
In
two
short,
people have three and
hello.
yes, sir.
You got out.
Oh, two people have three, one person will have four.
Yes, sir.
All right, get it. And he said to me, "Son of man, stand on your feet, so that I can speak to you." And the Spirit entered into me when he spoke to me and set me on my feet. And I heard him who was speaking to me. And he said to me, "Son of man, I'm sending you to, I'm sending you to the children of Yeshurun, to the nation of rebels who have rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me until this day."
And the children are stiff of face and hard of heart to who I am sending you. And you shall say to them, Thus said the Master Yahweh. And they, whether they hear or whether they refuse, for they are a rebellious house, shall know that a prophet has been in their midst. And you, son of man, do not be afraid of them, nor be afraid of their words. Though this thistles, I'm not pronounce that, and thorns are with you, and you dwell among scorpions. Do not be afraid of their words or discouraged by their looks, for they are a rebellious house. And you shall speak my words to them, whether they hear or whether they refuse, for they are rebellious.
And you, son of man, hear what I am speaking to you. Do not be rebellious like that rebellious house. Open your mouth and eat what I am giving you. And I looked and saw a hand stretched out to me, and see, a scroll of a book was in it. And he spread it before me, and it was written on the inside and on the outside. And written on it were lamentations and mourning and woe.
Hmm. It's about to get good. Big.
Soaking that one in.
Shoot.
You didn't have a lot to chew on, but what I got from this was must have known him.
Tricky.
The swag.
Nah,
but,
you-
but Pete is basically leaving off because these are connected. Is basically leaving off in the last chapter where he fell on his feet, and the Most High propped him up like he's man to man, right? And entered into and pretty much gave him the the instructions like, look, I'm sending you to these people, and yeah, because you're going to be a you. I could have saved you. You could have been back in Jerusalem. You could have been safe, but I'm sending you to go talk to these children of mine that's rebel against me, them and their fathers,
Mhm.
right? So that's the energy there. and he's giving them pretty much the knowledge, instruction. Right? Again, you go into Ezekiel, second chapter, verse 10. He said, wait, verse 9, he said, and I looked and saw a hand stretched out to me, and see a scroll of a book was in it. And he spread it before me, and it was written on the inside and outside. And written on it was lamentations and mourning and woe. Oh, you guys gonna get this work. All right, on to the next one. Okay, we got enough to chew here. Everybody, we at 9.
Yes, sir.
And he said to me, Son of man, eat what you find, eat the scroll, and go speak to the house of Israel. And I opened up my mouth, and he fed me the scroll. And he said to me, Son of man, feed your stomach, and fill your stomach with the scroll that I was giving you. And I ate it, and it was the sweetest honey in my mouth. Now, those are connected to different palms, right? Normally, I go through each of these palms, these psalms, I mean, these each of these footnotes, so that way you guys could see the connection, right? So when you click on that thought bubble, so like the first one, I'm gonna just go through this real quick, so that way you guys don't gotta go into it. But like Psalms 19:10, if you click on it, right? In Psalms 19:10, it states, more desirable than gold, than much fine gold, and sweeter than honey and the honeycomb. So that's one. So you go to Psalms. So this is the knowledge, how sweet the knowledge is, knowing that he's coming, knowing who he is. How just so now you go to Psalms 119, 103. I'm headed to Psalms 119, 103. Let's see if this is going to be fun to read. 103. Okay. So 103 says, how sweet to my taste has your words been, more than honey to my mouth. Right? Now I'm going to Revelation. How sweet the word, understanding the word. We're reading the word. But when we start to be like right now, we're babies to it. Like we're just getting baby food. When we start getting the knowledge and understanding how sweet it's gonna be. Like, so now we're going to Revelation 9 and 10. Chapter 10, sorry, 9 and 10. So Revelation, okay, 9 and 10, it says, and I went to the messenger and said to him, give me the book. Give me the little book. And he said to me, take it and eat it, and it shall make your stomach bitter, but it shall be as sweet as honey in your mouth. And I took the little book outside of the messenger's hands and ate it. It was as sweet as honey in my mouth. When I had eaten it, my stomach was made bitter. All right, so those are the connections. But going back to it. And he said to me, Son of man, go to the house of Israel, and you shall speak to them with my words. For you are not sent to a people of foreign speech and of difficult language, but to the house of Israel. Not too many people of foreign speech and of difficult language, to those words you do not understand. If I had rather sent you to them, they would have listened to you. But the house of Israel is going to refuse to listen to you, for they refuse to listen to me. For all the house of Israel and heart of heart. See, I shall make your face as hard as their faces, and your forehead as hard as their forehead. Like adamant stone, harder than flint, I shall make your forehead. Do not be afraid of them, nor be discouraged at their looks, for they are a rebellious house.
Hmm.
Take it away, little Kalafu.
Yeah.
And he said to me, Son of man, receive into your heart all my words that I speak to you. and hear with your ears. And you, excuse me. And go, come to the exiles, to the children of your people. Speak to them and say to them, thus said the Master Yahweh, whether they hear or whether they refuse. And the Spirit lifted me up, and behind me I heard a sound of great rumbling voice. Blessed be the esteemed of Yahweh from his place, and the sound of the wings of the living creatures touching one another, and the sound of the wheels beside them, the sound of a great rushing. And the Spirit lifted me and took me away, and I went in bitterness and the heat of my spirit, while the hand of Yahweh was strong upon me. And I came to the exiles at Tel Abib, who were dwelling by the river Kebar, and I sat where they were sitting, and sat there, stunned among them 7 days. And it came to be at the end of the 7 days that the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, I have made you a watchman for the house of Israel, and you shall hear a word from my mouth, and shall warn them from me. When I say to the wrong, you shall certainly die, and you have not warned him, nor spoken to warn the wrong from his wrong way, to save his life, that same wrong man shall die in his crookedness, and his blood I require at your hand.
But if you have warned the wrong, and he does not turn from his wrong, nor from his wrong way, he shall die in his crookedness, and you have delivered your being. And when a righteous one turns from his righteousness, and shall do unrighteousness, when I have put a stumbling block before him, he shall die, because you did not warn him. He shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he has done is not remembered. And his blood I require at your hand. Sheesh. I need to mark that real quick, my bad. Wait, I have to
Oh,
sign in? Never mind.
dying.
I'm gonna just finish. But if you have warned the righteous one that the righteous should not sin, and he did not sin, he shall certainly live because he has been warned, and you have delivered your being. And the hand of Yahweh came upon me there, and he said to me, Arise, go out into the plain, so that I might speak to you there. So I got up and went out into the plain, and see, the esteem of Yahweh stood there, like the esteem which I saw by the river Kebar, and I fell on my face. And the Spirit entered me, and set me on my feet, and spoke with me, and said to me, Go, shut yourself inside your house, and you, O son of man, see, they shall put cords on you, and bind you with them, so that you do not go out in their midst. And I make your tongue stick to the roof of your mouth, so that you shall be dumb and not be a reprover to them, for they are a rebellious house. But when I speak with you, I open your mouth, and you shall say to them, Thus said the Master Yahweh, He who hears, let him hear, and he who refuses, let him refuse, for they are a rebellious house.
Hmm.
Sheesh.
That was heavy. Big, you want to take a crack at it?
I was gonna say that telling people the word is really all you need to do. You can't force them to. You can't force a horse to drink water after you lead him to the lake, basically. But as long as you remind them that Yahweh, Yeshua are here for you, and they should be, they should make their relationship with them stronger. I feel like you've done your job. But I'm still soaking this chapter in. That's just what I got from what I was gonna highlight.
Sure.
I'm so sorry that went into.
All right. Another thing I guys want you guys to Ezekiel. He is a quell. He's a prophet. He didn't even have to suffer this, but he's got to go. It's his duty now, his mission, to go speak to the rebellious house, right? And even how he's gonna. It's not just gonna be so direct. It's gonna have what's the word I'm looking for? Intrigue into it, right? It's like you're gonna get tied up. You're gonna go to your house. They're gonna tie you up. You don't sound like a reprover to them. And then when the right time is coming, I'm gonna let you speak to them, right? But here's your assignment as a shepherd, as a lead. Don't be afraid of none of them. And speak my words to them. When I tell you to speak my words to them, his words, the most high word, I'm high. And rescue those that can be rescued with the word. They don't hear it, they choose not to listen. If you don't say it, they don't get themselves right. Don't be afraid of man at all, because the Most High is going to give you the strength and authority to go speak to man. All right. On to the next. So, two people will have, no, two people have 6. To make it easy, I can take the 6. Wait, no, yeah, I can take the 5. Sorry, and we can flow.
Wait, hold on.
All right.
I'm trying to sign
Yes,
in so I can mark this stuff.
take your time. Let me just rush over here. Give me 1 second.
Are you going to sign in so you can sweat? Or easy?
Basically.
At least he's honest.
I'm ready. He said 783.
Watch me out. No, it's 1-1-15.
But
And I'm back.
what was the numbers?
Let me give it to you.
5-6-6.
No, you said the numbers you want to mark down, right, Vic? You want to highlight?
Nah, I already highlighted them.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
The numbers for the reading.
Yeah, 5-6-6.
5-6-6.
Uh,
Take it away, General Noel.
damn.
And you, son of man, take a clay tablet, and you shall lay it before you, and shall inscribe on it a city, Jerusalem, and shall lay siege against it, build a siege wall against it, and heap up a mound against it, and set camps against it, and place battering rams against it all around. Then take an iron plate and set it as an iron wall between you and the city, and you shall set your face against it, and it shall be besieged, and you shall lay siege against it. It's a sign to the house of Israel. And lie on your left side, and you shall put the crookedness of the house of Israel on it. As many days as you lie on it, you shall bear their crookedness. For I myself have laid on you the years of their crookedness. according to the numbers of the days, 390 days. And you shall bear the crookedness of the house of Israel.
Yep.
Take it
And
away, little Kilpin.
you have completed them. You shall lie again on your right side, and shall bear the crookedness of the house of Yehuda 40 days. A day for a year. I have laid on you a day for a year. And you shall set your face toward the siege of Yerushalayim, with your arm bared, and you shall prophecy against it. And see, I shall put cords on you, so that you do not turn from one side to another until you have completed the days of your siege. And take wheat and barley and beans and lentils and millet and spelt, and you shall put them into one vessel and make bread of them. You shall eat it as many days as you lie on your side, 390 days. And your food which you eat is by weight, 20 shekels a day to be eaten from time to time. And drink water by measure, 1/6 of a hin to be drunk from time to time.
And eat it as a barley cake, and bake it before their eyes on human dung. And Yahweh said, even so the children of Israel shall eat their defiled bread among the nations, to whom I drive them. Then I said, ah, Master Yahweh, see, I have never defiled myself from my youth till now. I have never eaten what died of itself or was torn by beast, nor has unclean meat ever come into my mouth. And he said to me, see, I am giving you the dung of cattle instead of human dung, and you shall prepare your bread over it. And he said to me, son of man, see, I am going to cut off the supply of bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight and with fear, and drink water by measure and with dread, so that they lack bread and water, and shall be appalled with one another, and be consumed in their crookedness.
Mm,
Sheesh.
this is so crazy. It's almost like he's making the clay table, a sand table. You know what a sand table is, guys?
Nope.
That sounds
Okay.
familiar, but nah.
So in military, right, we war plan. So like, let's say us three are gonna attack a city. We will actually make a little sand table map on our table of where we're gonna attack, how we're gonna move, trajectories as best as we can. Sometimes you see people make like egg cards, milk cards. They'll take like a phone. Sometimes people use they'll use like phones. Say like, okay, this is a house, and this is like they'll put your phones together, whatever it is to visual that city. All right. He did a sand castle. Wow, a sand castle. And in that sand castle, he's breaking down the clay tablet is Jerusalem, right? And take this plate, this iron plate, and this will be an iron. You know what I'm saying? So like he's like war gaming, even lying on the left and right side. It's the crookedness, a house of Yisrael, and then the right house, the right side will be the house of Yehuda, right? It's just Israel's gonna have it longer, right? And even then, like even as they starve, he's still gonna eat. But you're gonna eat in increments. You're gonna take these things. I'm gonna show you how to make bread with these lint. That's like saying, guys, you know how shoot you show me how like they made bread out for the hamburgers and such, or a rice patty or whatever. Like that's not something everybody knows how, especially when you're starving. He's gonna take wheat, barley, beans, lentils, and millet and spelt. He's gonna put them in one vessel and make a bread of them, right? And you're gonna eat as many days as long side, 390 days. And he's gonna even get a ration of water. All these people starve. right? He was like, "Look, it's gonna be so bad to besiege. You're gonna take human dung to cook it." And he correct. He's like, "Father, like I didn't even eat none of that." He's like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna use cattle instead of human dung. Not gonna be that bad, but it's gonna be bad." That's like, guys, that's like, you know how we could go cold. Imagine there's nothing dung, doo doo. Like, I'm just saying how bad this could be. You won't have nothing but doo doo to use as fuel to cook your bread in this vessel. That's how bad it's gonna be. It said they shall eat bread by weight and with fear, and drink water by measure with dread. Like I see these people over this election losing their mind. Imagine a siege. Imagine a full-fledged attack. Big.
I just feel like he's getting them ready for what everybody else in Jerusalem got to pay for.
Mm,
He was like, yeah,
mm.
you was here, but you gotta go through it too, because of your forefathers. But you'll get the better leg of it.
Shoot in 20 seconds or less, sir.
Thanks for being with the floor, sir. I actually 7 that one in.
All right, on to the next one. So we got 5, 6, 6, 6. I'll take the five. The fifth. The fifth. And you, son of man, take a sharp sword, take it as a barber's razor, and you shall pass it over your head and your beard, and you shall take scales to weight and divide the hair. Burn with fire 1/3 in the midst of the city when the days of the siege are completed. And you shall take 1/3 and strike around it with the sword, and scatter 1/3 into the wind. And I shall draw out a sword after them. And you shall take a few hairs from there and bind them in the and take again some of them and throw them into the midst of the fire and burn them in the fire. From it a fire shall spread unto the house of Israel. Thus says the Master Yahweh. This is Jerusalem, which I have set in the midst of the nations, with the other lands all around her.
But she rebelled against my right rulings, doing wrong more than the nations, my laws more than the lands all around her. For they have rejected my right rulings, and they have not walked in my laws. Therefore, thus said Master Yahweh, the Master Yahweh, because you have rebelled more than the nations all around you, and have not walked in my laws, nor done my right rulings, nor ever done according to the right rulings of the nation all around you. Therefore, thus said the Master Yahweh, look, I myself am against you, and shall execute judgments in your midst, before the eyes of the nations. And I shall do among you what I have never done, and the like of which I never do again, because of all your abominations. Therefore, fathers are going to eat their sons in your midst, and sons
Mm.
eat their fathers. And I shall execute judgment among you, and scatter all your remnant to all the winds. Therefore, as I live, declares the Master Yahweh, because ye have defiled my set apart place with all your disgusting matters, and with all your abominations. Therefore I also withdraw. My eye shall not pardon, nor shall I spare.
1/3 of you shall die of pestilence, and be consumed with scarcity of food in your midst, and 1/3 shall fall by the sword all around you, And I shall scatter another 1/3 to all the winds, and draw out a sword after them. And my displeasure shall be completed, and I shall bring my wrath to rest upon them, and I shall be eased. And they shall know that I, Yahweh, have spoken it in my adore, when I have completed my wrath upon them. And I shall make you a waste and reproach among the nations that are all around you, before the eyes of all who pass by. And it shall be a reproach and an object scorn, a warning and an astonishment to the nations that are all around you, when I execute judgments among you in displeasure and in wrath and in heated chastisements. I, Yahweh, have spoken. When I send against them the evil arrows of scarcity of food, which shall be for their destruction, which I send to destroy you, I shall increase the scarcity of food upon you and cut off your supply of bread. And I shall send against you scarcity of food and evil beasts, and they shall bereave you, and pestilence and blood shall pass through you, while I bring the sword against you. I, Yahweh, have spoken.
You know, messed up now. It-
Sheesh.
And guys, I'm gonna listen, but I'm telling you, as I read this, right, I see America going down this path. Like, listen, I'm not gonna pretend and say like, oh, it's okay for okay, like I understand even the gay is an abomination, right? But they're making the gay look like it's nothing now compared to this that like 20 years ago, Big, you were alive for them shit. But 20 years ago, being called gay was the worst. It was like, nah, man. Now you can have a transvestite. You can have a person cut off a man or boy. Can you cut off his own genitals so it could be a bro? Y'all not understanding they're acting like it's new. This is not new. None of this is new. That was they could fail like that, but you're worse than them. God bless you guys for being tolerant of people that God bless you guys. But when the war comes, when the spirit, I'm sorry. When the Most High tell me to strike them down, I'm gonna strike them down because I don't even want to play with His wrath. I don't even want to be on the. I don't even want Him to turn back on me. Not the wrath part just said, that He cares. The turning the back on me, He can't hear me. Oh no 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 sir, no sir. Part where he was like, I'm never gonna do this. I'm gonna do what I did to I'm never I'm gonna do what I do to them that I'm never gonna do. I'm gonna have father eat child. I'll eat father. But that's how bad y'all got. Yo, when they talk about like they're gonna create artificial foods and have people eat cockroaches, y'all don't think that y'all even made the land making it abomination. So I'm asking y'all to keep the faith. Maybe y'all keeping the faith could save people around you. Maybe y'all not settling in to abomination and allow to be a part could help that community that you guys are in. Protect them. I'm hearing more about this puffy thing, and I'm not surprised, but I'm disgusted to a point like y'all doing all of this for money? Y'all letting people do all this wicked, abominable things for y'all. And y'all thought y'all were gonna keep it in secret? Y'all thought nobody was gonna know. That's how you think that y'all don't know the most high then. Everything you do in the dark. How do you think repentance happens? My beloveds, I want you to take in consideration, and I told y'all this morning in this text, and I'm gonna stay on this because we are the firstborns. We are the first of the first of our names of our family. It's almost like we have the title, whether we want it or not. We were born shepherds, whether we want it or not. We were born favored, chosen, whether we chose it or not. That is a responsibility in itself. That's a title and a job in itself. Yeah, big, you don't hear this much, but that's work for anybody. We already have a job. We already have a mission to take care of. We have people to save. We have ourselves to save, but then we have our peoples to save as well. So this is war, guys. This is a warfare like no other. Because now that we got the instruction, now that we receive instruction, we have to do something with it. We can't just sit idly by. We got our weapons. We got our bullets. We got ammo. We even got our protection vest, protective suit on. That doesn't mean we just sit around and just let it just lay heavier than us while we sit around. Think about it. You can't even choose out of the 1/3. It's this way. 1/3 is going to die that way. 1/3 is going to die that way. You can't. It's you. You're choosing the word. It's not even a choice. And he's giving this prophet. He's giving Yesequel the physical images. Like, all right, you're gonna cut. Like, I just want it to be a symbolic. Yet here, especially for them, we're in captivity. But for them that were freed, that were chosen, your hair is your locks, your beard. We're looking good, groom. Cut that off. Take that all off. Take that all off. As much as you love your hair, how much take that all off, and you're gonna burn some of this. You're gonna leave some here. You're gonna this is gonna represent the children. You're gonna bind some to your clothes. I will save some of you, but for the most of y'all, ooh, y'all gonna get it. I made y'all to be leaders. Y'all to be the example. This is what y'all produce. Y'all went over here and did this abomination. Y'all could have let the nations do that. It's nothing. When Glitch talk what he talks, we all like, Glitch is not meant to be our leader. But imagine if Big was talking like you. Imagine you Shoot was talking like that. Like, babe, you okay? Everything all right? But Glitch could talk like that. He's not meant to lead. He was born or probably has a mental disorder, just like how gay used to be in a book in the 70s. They changed it. So y'all know it was a mental disorder. And mental disorder was also masked a demonic possession. When they say you, that's why they be joking around. My lady have people and they talk about having the spirit of a woman on them. That's how it's described. You're being, you're, you're being, you're suffering a demonic possession. And the only way certain people know how to let them be. Other people's like, ah, man, they want to physically fight them. That's not the way. You ain't gonna beat somebody not to be gay. That's a spiritual possession. And they have new things. And to give y'all examples, right? These Greco-Roman gods, they were both. When they talk about Mars and Athena, in being. It's just in its feminine form is this. When its masculine form is that. They're doing that to us in the games. Let's just have the female be in it. In reality, no females going to war like they not banging like that. They're not gonna beat their chest and grab their gats. They have the demonic spirit of a man, spirit of a warrior in them. But it's not natural. So we fighting a fight of a fight of a fight. We're in simulations of like democracy, who vote, see who's gonna lead them. That's a whole bunch of baloney. The ruling elites already know who put there as a president. But it kills me how my brothers in the chat room darn near disrespecting each other for people that don't even care about them. That's why I had to tell them this morning, like, enough's enough. I sit and I clown and I joke with y'all, but enough's enough. Let's get back to focus. Stop playing. That's like saying us gonna let Trump or Kamala Harris, who these people, come into our structure, come in the middle of the Three Kings table, and tell us, oh man, Big, you should hate Varley, you should hate Pooh. What? Get out of here. Well, who are y'all? What y'all talking about? I'm not red or blue.
Yeah, we're purple. Sorry.
I'm Yasharel. I'm Yasharel. I'm not even playing with. I'm not even black. Excuse me. Because my shorts I'm wearing is black. Furniture. I'm more Yasharel. And I want to get coded and identify that. If you're going to call me anything. I'm more Hebrew. If you're going to call me anything. Because the names y'all playing with, it don't fit with who we are. With our esteem that comes from the most. They don't give us esteem. He does. They don't tell us how to walk and how to look like men. He does. So thank you, but no thank you. I don't want your ways. I'm sorry. I'm not going. You're not going to see me. I see me with soldiers. One soldier. Y'all still know him. He's fruity as Fruity Pop. Am I going to beat him up for that? But would I get a chance? Like when he came here, he told me, and I heard people, they came to me. They was like, I don't know if I do this. Because they saw how women, real women, with the spirit of femininity, how they treat a man. And they was like, yo, this is nice. But they had to go back into Babylon and look at the beast. Remember that gay thing saving. Because I'm so scared. I'm fearful. Because I came up from an abusive. My dad was beating my mom. I came from a molestation. This person touched that person. I don't know anything else. They put it into me. I'm reading these things about Puffy and what he did. I'm like, it didn't start with Puffy and it's not going to end with Puffy. So I'm not going to make him Satan. He's not Satan. He's not Lucifer. As bad as y'all want to make him Lucifer, he's not. Somebody taught him that.